what's up? I wanted to make this video to kind of like explain how I came up with the ideas for my album that now is out in Spotify, and on YouTube I also uploaded it, so if you wanna check it out, it's like a really nice job that I did for myself. It took some time and a lot of effort, but I don't know, I loved so much the project that I just wanted to, like address how I tackle the creativity part of it and like the inspiration behind the songs, because they are pretty much instrumental, like it's pretty much just guitar music. I must say that it's rock, yeah, it's instrumental rock mainly, but the creativity behind and inspiration that I got from it is not, I would say it's a bit more personal. And it comes from the fact that I have a lot of connection with my home country, with my hometown, with my culture, my indigenous heritage, and actually the fact that I was able to have so many experiences even in the jungle through the years, and also with the native people in Canada on the northern side of Saskatchewan, and with people, friends, and experiences, good and bad ones, because there is a lot of stuff that is happening in all over the world, pretty much a lot of hatred, discrimination, poverty, but also really nice, really positive auras of how people connect with each other, in our heritage. So I wanted to make this video to explain a bit of what is behind each song. And even though it's more like instrumental, and it's directed for people that listens more like guitar music, sort of with influences of rock and roll of the 80s or 90s or something like that. It came very deeply inspired by the mountains, the jungle, the experience that I had there in Canada, and I still do here in Montreal. So I just wanted to tackle that and explain a bit of how I came up with the creativity. So maybe you guys, if somebody is also thinking on naming your songs, or have some inspiration behind it, and give it a bit of context behind what you do for your songs that you compose, because behind all that time that you dedicate for composing and recording and then releasing it, marketing it out, there is also a reason, right? And I feel like that's is as important for me as all the time that I gave to the composition itself. So first of all, I wanna thanks again to the people that kind of follow me up and encourage me time to time, at least. Nowadays it's a bit difficult for us musicians being out there, but anyway, I just did it with a lot of passion and love I have for the music, and I wanted to tell you a bit about the album. So the first track is a 9-song album record, and has also a single that I will release afterwards. And mainly the main topic of it is this integration of all these cultures that I have experienced so far in my young adulthood, and that's how I managed to name them, and how I gave them some meaning behind. So for starters, let's talk about the first song, which is called Running Snake. So the first song is about pretty much the experience I had with ayahuasca, or yahe, how they called it in the jungle of Putumayo. And that's another a topic for another video, but essentially that experience was so powerful and so meaningful for me, not just a psychedelic experience, but also a meaningful soul searching, healing experience. And I am grateful for have that experience, and I recommend it to people that suffer a lot of post-traumatic experiences, or they are looking for leaving behind some deep trauma they had, or just for the sake of normal healing, because I think that's important to notice that's medicine too for the body and the soul. At least that's my opinion on it. But anyway, I had that experience, and then I was curious about how these people live, and how they have lived all these centuries, even millennia. And the running snake name came from what I started researching behind the community, or one of the communities that are on the Peru and Putumayo. But actually, I tried yaje on the Ingas communities in Colombia. One of the most famous ayahuasca cultural communities of indigenous people is called Shipibo Isibo, or Isibo Shipibo. Sorry about that. And it's in the Peru. So even though they are a bit different, I picked up the running snake from Shipibo Isibo because they happen to have like a lot of patterns in their cultural costumes and their mythology. And it seems like there was a huge snake on the past called Running, and that was pretty much the creator of the universe, or for their view, right, of how life works. And that was intriguing to see how from that mythology came all those patterns that they currently have in their fabrics, in their in their costumes, and the way that they dress, and also how they kind of like invoke these spirits when they do the ceremonies. Personally, I haven't been in a ceremony like that. I have been, as I said, in the yaje from the Ingas community, but I had the opportunity to like experience something very similar. But anyway, that's, I think, another topic for another time. And that's how I came up with the idea behind, and that's also one of the main reasons why I put those patterns in the artwork that I have on my album. And maybe that I'm gonna talk about more on that later on. But like the album had like pretty much main picture of Wiracocha, which is like an entity of Bolivia nearby mythology. And that's also another myth of how life started as this entity that was pretty much the creator of the universe, and how they started creating the humans from the Lake Titicaca. But that's, I mean, you can search it out in Google and everything, but it gave me a lot of ideas of how I can put up the topic of my artwork there. So anyway, that's the first song, Running a Snake. I put some samples on elder women that are singing on the first parts of the song and in the middle of the song, and that was pretty much my 2 cents on it. And I like, if you listen it is pure rock, but the inspiration was pretty much everything about this experience. So the second song is called Olivia Marie, and I called it that to the second song because of a search I did, a small research about like a case where unfortunately one of these older women was assassinated in a horrible episode when a foreigner, I think from what my research was a Canadian, unfortunately there is a lot of people that traumatized people that are looking for healing, and they have too much expectations about it, or sometimes it's just like people that are very sick mentally. And unfortunately this person came to the community and they wanted to trade off like a child from the community, and since the dad didn't first kind of made the deal, and then he stepped back, or at least that's what I understood. The foreigner got mad and he shot the elder woman. Even though this foreigner initially was trying to, looking for healing in this community with yaje, with ayahuasca and stuff. So I don't want to say that that's all the history, because I mean there are a lot of versions about it, and it's not the only case. There might be like hundreds of cases like this, and that's a bit unfortunate that people. And I'm not saying that all of the foreigners are like that, definitely not. But fortunately, this happened, and it's happening because there is not too many police control over that area. There is not too much control over how they look up for these communities and how they treat them and how they are, you know, extracting from them. But that's, I think, also another topic. So the history was intriguing for me, and the elder woman killed was called Olivia Aribello. So in her honor, I just put the name of her in my song. I called it Olivia Marie because Marie is the Olivia is her name, and Marie is the name they give for the chants when they do the ceremonies in the ayahuasca ceremonies. So that's intriguing to know, and I have heard you can hear it in YouTube. Many of them is very peaceful, that chanting, and can definitely peace you out if you want it. I definitely recommend it if you wanna check it out. So anyway, moving on, the third song is called Trail of Tears. This song was pretty much what I remember from the experience, the psychological experience, being in the rainforest in Putumayo jungle, and just the sound of the rain is pretty much everything that I could remember, and it was so peaceful. It was a companionship on my trip. And I don't know, I think this is very simple. I also put some samples on the song of a lot of rain sounds and stuff. And yeah, I think there is not too much to it. And then I remember this was, I think, one of the first songs that I started. The single that I'm gonna release is the first song definitely that I started composing when I was 18. This must be the third one or fourth one that I started composing when I was very young. And by the way, this album is kind of a compilation of different compositions I left aside. Meanwhile, I was focusing in my previous band, and by the way, you can check it out in my other channel. I think I will put the links on it. But anyway, moving on, the fourth song is called Take Out the Trash. So this is a bit more related with the influences I had with I don't know. I am also very conscious about how we are treating our planet, and I just gave that name for so people could take a bit more careful of their their cycling and stuff, and that's very simple. But at the moment I didn't know how to denominate it, since the song is a direct influence in this guitarist that I admire very much nowadays, that is huge. It's Master Brown. You guys should check it out. He has just, I think, one album and several singles released, but he's amazing. He uses so many minimalism in his rhythms, and then he comes up with crazy soulful soloing in his guitar, and it's just just a minimalistic approach of how you can just keep doing the same thing over and over with the exact rhythm that really works, and you can create awesome music out of nothing. So I did this song really simple, and I just put the best solo I could come up with a bass, and then I translated into a guitar sound and stuff like that. So check it out. I think this is one of the songs that I like the most. It's very simple, but at the same time I was able to catch a soloing that has a lot of personality on it. So moving on, the fifth song is also a bit aside from this topic of the jungle, the rainforest, the communities that administrate ayahuasca. I also wanted to incorporate something from books. So this Upper Fox name of track is being given because of the book called Upper and Downer Fox, I think it is. Upper, lower, and lower fox. In Spanish is El zorro de arriba y abajo. And this book is the last book that the writer Jose Maria Arguedas wrote in his life. And yeah, that's a long history as well. You can check him out. But this book was half a diary before he committed suicide, and half a novel that was unfinished, unfortunately. But you can see in this book definitely how he starts to fade away. And there's a long history behind it. Check out his biography, but essentially he was confused by his identity since he was raised by indigenous indigenous people, but he was mestizo, kind of like a midi. So he, as grew up, was also like, very traumatized, abused and stuff. So he couldn't handle so much confusion in his personality. But he wrote some of the best poems and books of indigenous issues on Peru, and we all should be grateful for his contribution to understanding, how these people suffer and how their identity also is leaving all the South American culture. So anyway, that was my 2 cents on that song. I also like it, the fact that I put a lot of effort in the composition on that song. And moving on, the next song is one that I just composed recently. It's called Peacock, 1984, and this is a nice one. Like I had the opportunity to travel to Victoria in Vancouver, and it's a beautiful island. It's oh my gosh, it's one of the best places I've ever been. So peaceful, and there is actually a park of peacocks. And at the moment, I remember I was reading 1982 by George Orwell. So I don't know, that experience alone. I went there because of work, because I needed to complete a project and stuff. But at the same time, it was an amazing experience. So anyway, I just gave it that name because of the book that made me think. Definitely, I am very sure a lot of people have read it. It's a must read for understanding, just wake up and realize how our world works until now, and how we have kind of a duty to make some good in the world, And Peacock is pretty much, I love those animals. They are just really walking by, and I also love ducks, I also love goose. And I don't want to eat them. I want to have them as pets. And I just felt that it was an ideal name. And most of the intro of that song, I composed it when I was there residing, which was around 1 month, I think, in Victoria. So anyway, moving on, we have 8 Symbols. That's one of my favorite ones too. This is a pure kind of a math rock, and is the only song that I was able to compose with my the previous 8-string guitar as I had, and I sold it because I want a new one. But essentially, this is one of the only one pretty much that was composed in 8 strings, and the composition behind it was so inspired by, I don't know, the ability that I had in that moment to come up with the melody, which is very, very repetitive, but at the same time it has so much personality on it. And I don't know how I can explain it. I just put it 8 symbols because it was the 8 strings. So take it as you want, but that was pretty much the reason behind it. And by the way, in this song, I am so grateful that Kyle Reese, or Risa, he helped me out in the drums. He recorded the drums pretty much, and he's an amazing drummer. He's residing in Saskatoon. I'll put the link of his Facebook on the description of the video, and check him out if you need the drums. He definitely is your guy. I would definitely want to collaborate with him in the future. Amazing drummer, and I am grateful that the song was also like so much powerful. So anyway, last song is called Senna, and this is a bit is bipolar, because on the one side is the more kind of heavy song of the entire set list. It's pretty much sort of like heavy metal, soft or something like that. And it's very straightforward. It just has a lot of power. But on the contrary, as well, that was the result of a breakup. And the Senna is the name of a mythology symbol, or a persona, female persona in the Inuit community, in the Inuit culture here in Canada. I don't know too much about it, to be honest. I just searched for the mythology behind it, because I am always very, very attracted to all behind the mythology of the indigenous communities. And I saw that it was a beautiful woman that had a lot of relationship with the ocean and the north and the snow and everything. So I just it just sounded beautiful. The name is beautiful, and I just wanted to put it on this song. So yeah, unfortunately, to the metal fans, metalhead fans that are looking for demons and stuff, this is not the best inspiration behind it. But yeah, I mean, if you like it, that's okay. You don't have to like agree with the inspiration behind it, but that's how I structure it, the context behind it. And even though the music is pure rock, the feelings behind the composition were completely different from normally how at least most of the metal and rock music I listen to is about. I love the music, but sometimes I feel like it's a bit repetitive, the context behind it and the inspiration behind it, and that's completely okay. I mean, I'm not judging. I love the genre, but you know, like my inspiration is just a bit different. And I hope you guys like it. If you like it, please share it. For me, it means so much. So this is pretty much how I did my album, and I am happy that I am finally releasing it. So you can listen it on Spotify, YouTube again if you want to subscribe. I will also post it in Instagram. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Any comments, you can ask me around. If you want to know more about how I recorded it, I did the artwork. Somebody else helped me in Fiverr. So whatever you guys want to ask, I'll be happy to help. So that's pretty much my 2 cents on how you can make an album, an inspiring album. So thanks so much, guys. So I hope to see you in the next video or somewhere else. Take care.